Hey everyone, Scott here from Classic Elite, and today I'm going to be reviewing Castlevania Lords of Shadow 2 for the PC. And I just want to thank Gamersgate.com very much for providing the copy for review. Remember, at Gamersgate.com you can get your games anytime, anywhere. Castlevania Lords of Shadow 2 was developed by MercurySteam and published by Konami. This is a game that, if I'm cutting right to the chase, I thought was fair. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't great either. From a visual perspective, it was awesome, and the game ran really well on my computer. I was able to crank up the settings and have everything still run at 60 frames a second, which makes things really enjoyable when you're playing the game. Another thing that I enjoyed with the game are the controls. I thought that they were responsive. I felt like they added to the combat, and in platforming scenarios, they didn't really get in the way. I thought that they were pretty accurate. So overall, I do have to say that I enjoyed the way that the game controlled. So when it comes to some of the aspects of the game that I didn't really enjoy, the first one that really stood out to me was I just didn't feel like my upgrades made much of a difference. Just like in Castlevania Lords of Shadow 1, you're able to upgrade your whip and your abilities based on the experience that you're gaining. But every time that I unlocked something or felt like I should have made a little bit of a progression, I couldn't quite get away from mashing the X and Y button with a combination of triggers randomly pulled. Button mashing seems to work great in this game, and unfortunately that leads to a high level of repetition, which was definitely another drawback for me. This game does include side quests, which is nice because it gives you the ability to find shards that are going to allow your powers to become stronger, but due to the repetition, I didn't really find myself venturing off on these side missions very often. Even though I didn't really go on the side missions, I was able to still acquire the shards that I had mentioned through a shop that is opened by a chupacabra that you come across while you're playing the game. One of the things that I loved about the first Lords of Shadow was the story. There was an awesome twist, I loved the ending, and Lords of Shadow 2 is a continuation of that story, along with what is told in the 3DS game, Lords of Shadow Mirror of Fate. But the story in this game just didn't seem to be as good as Lords of Shadow 1. Now, I did not finish Mirror of Fate, so I can't comment on that story completely, but as far as comparing it to Lords of Shadow 1, I really preferred that over what they told in this story. Two things that are worth noting are that the puzzles in this game, much like the combat, do not have very much variety, and also this game does contain QuickTime events. But with the QuickTime events, you can actually turn them off, which is awesome. Essentially, you just get extended cutscenes, and the cutscenes are awesome. They have high action, excellent visuals. This is definitely one of my favorite aspects of Lords of Shadow 2. Overall, even though Castlevania Lords of Shadow 2 is a great looking game that runs well and has nice controls, I just felt that because of some of the repetition, the story, I just didn't love the game as much as I liked the first. This is certainly not a bad game, and if you enjoyed the first one, I would definitely recommend that you keep an eye out for it to go on sale. So, that sums up my thoughts on Castlevania Lords of Shadow 2. If you've enjoyed my commentary, make sure to check out our podcast at ClassicElite.com. You can also find us on iTunes and Stitcher Radio. Also, if you did like the review, please subscribe to our channel. We do Let's Plays, walkthroughs, hardware reviews, game reviews, all sorts of fun stuff. So hopefully you will subscribe and check out more of our videos. You can also follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook, and send us an email if you'd like. Thanks a lot for watching.